Alright everyone, this is the video for worksheet 3-10 for the class The Language of Algebra offered on outschool.com. And if you would like to watch this class live, if you would like to learn these concepts live, in the description is a link and you can go straight to Outschool and find this class, The Language of Algebra. If you're my students, you know the drill. I left you a couple of notes of common places where there's a mix-up. So if you didn't get the right answer, look back at the note that I put above, little things like that for some of them. All right, so go ahead and pause, grade yourself, and I'm going to get started. So I'm assuming you've already paused, since you know the drill. And I am going to get started. What color do I feel like using today? I think that one. All right, so in this first one, okay, I have to get rid of this negative 22, and it's subtracting. So the way to make it a 0 is to put a plus 22 beside it, because if I do that math, that's 0, right? All right, so what I do to one side, gotta do the same thing to the other side. All right, so that's going to go to 0, leaving me just with negative 11a. And that is going to leave me with a positive 7. The negative 11 is multiplying the a, so I have to divide it. Got to take that negative with it. A equals a fraction. And the whole fraction is negative. Not just the 11, not just the 7, but the whole fraction. So put that negative in front of the fraction. Remember, it's one contained thing. All right? And this one, the 19, is subtracting z, so I'm going to add it to both sides. See if I have enough room to do that. All right, so that goes to 0, leaving me with 16z equals negative 8 plus 19 is 11. All right, so this is multiplying the z, so I can either multiply by its reciprocal, because that's what division would do, or I can divide it. However you look at it, we should have went over multiple ways of looking at it. And I think this answer is wrong. This answer is wrong. Don't look at this, okay? I should have multiplied both sides. That is going to give me 66. The answer is actually 66, and it's negative. Because this is negative, it's going to, and well, no, when I brought that over, it turned to positive. So it's a positive 66. Don't look at this answer I gave you. That's the right answer. All right, I got to subtract this 22 on both sides. Just going to give me negative 7 over here. The 10 is multiplying the x, so I have to divide. And x equals, the whole fraction is negative 7 over 10. All right, in this next one, I need to subtract 5 from both sides because it's being added to n. Going to give me 5n equals 40. The 5 is multiplying the n, so I'm going to divide it. And n equals 8. All right, in this one, I'm going to add 3 to both sides because it's subtracting, okay? All right, so y equals 6. That's going to go to 0. Take 3 off of my negative 11 debt. And I'm going to have 8. It's going to be negative. The 6 is dividing the y, so I need to multiply it to both sides, which is going to cancel and leave me with 8 times 6, which is 48, positive, negative, so the answer is negative. I'm going to flip-flop my sides. All right, I got to subtract 8 from both sides because it's being added. Leaving me with 12x equals negative 48. Divide both sides by a 12 because it's being multiplied, and x equals 4, and it's going to be negative. All right, I'm going to flip-flop the sides here. 1 is being added to both sides, so I need to subtract it. It's also positive, whichever way you want to look at it. So 1 minus 1 plus 7a equals 36 minus 1. 7a equals 35. The 7 is multiplying, so I'm going to divide it out. A equals 5. All right, I'm going to flip-flop the sides for this one. Okay, so that 11 is negative, so I either subtract a negative, which turns to positive, or just go straight to adding it so I can obtain the 0. What I do on one side, I have to do on the other. It's going to leave me with a positive 2. The 8 is dividing b, so I need to multiply it on both sides. 8 times 2 is 16, and it's going to be positive. All right, the 10 is adding to the q, so I'm going to subtract it. And I got to do that to both sides. This time I have a q here, so I need to get that q to the other side. All right. So to do that, it's a positive q. Let me subtract it from both sides. I have to do it over here too. So 2 minus 7 is a negative 5q equals negative 10. Divide both sides by a negative 5. Divide by a negative 5. Q equals a positive 2. Because a negative and a negative, 5 goes into 10 2 times. All right, we're getting near the end. The 8 is adding to the x, so let's subtract it. What I do to one side, I better do to the other. Okay, this is being multiplied, so I'm going to divide it. I'm going to do that on both sides. I'm going to write it like this over here. That goes to 1, leaving me just with x. Keep, change, flip. So I'm going to turn the first one into a fraction and keep it. Change to multiplication and flip the second one. All right, that's going to give me 60 over 3, which equals 20. X equals 20. All right, the 2.7 is being subtracted, so we need to add it to both sides. All right, that's going to go away. It should be 2.7. Why did I put a 9? Goofy eyes of mine sometimes. That's okay. I caught it. Just like when you catch your mistakes, you don't need to be hard on yourself. All right, so the 0.3 is being multiplied, so I'm going to divide. And x equals 3 goes into 11 3 times. Remainder of 2, 27 9 times. Same place value, so no decimal. All right, now I wanted to show you this concept. When a number is in the bottom of the denominator, the math gets extremely hard. We turn simple math into a whole page of math. So the very first thing you want to do is just flip. Remember, as long as I do it to both sides, it's okay. So flip both sides. And now tell yourself that the 120 is dividing end. So to undo it, let's multiply it to both sides. I'm going to do a little bit of cross canceling because these numbers will get big if I don't. 12 goes into 12 one time and into 120 10 times. 10 times 53 equals 530. All right, I have 3 more to go. Okay, so the 1.64 is being added to the 4n, so I'm going to subtract it from both sides. Two minus 1.64 is going to be 36.36. I'm sorry. This answer is slightly wrong. 0.09. Divide both sides by 4. Okay, 4 goes into 30, does not go into 3, so I'm going to have a 0 there, but it does go into 36 9 times. All right, so if you're like, what, that's not what I got, well, that's because I dropped my decimals somewhere in all of that. Okay, so the 1 is being subtracted, so I'm going to add it to both sides. All right, so before I can do any multiplication or division, I need this as a mixed fraction. All right, now I need to divide it on both sides. Okay, which means I'm going to keep the first one, change to multiplication, and flip. And because these are going to get to be big numbers, I'm going to go ahead and do some cross canceling. And x is going to equal 15. Remember, I go over all of these little how to do decimals, how to do fractions in hands-on fun with rational numbers. So if you need a refresher on that, that's a good class to take. All right, the 75 is dividing m, so you can multiply it on both sides. I'm going to do some cross canceling because these numbers are going to get big. 25 goes into 25 once and into 75 3 times. So now all I have to do is 3 times 75, which is 3 times 7 is 21. Carry my 2, 3, 4, 5, 51, and it's positive. All right, that's it for this one. Keep doing it till you've mastered it, and then I'll see you in class. Contact me if you need any help or more work. I'll talk to you soon.